Good morning, this is TF. I'm at again here with another program on GoLang, Google's GoLang language, where we are going to see something on functions here. Okay, so we're going to define some user-defined functions here, and how we are calling and called here, getting called here. Okay, so as always, you have a package at the top, and you're going to import the format just for the printf and the scanf statement here, or println statement that we're using here. Okay, so the function main, as you have seen before, you do have something, a statement like this. So this is going to be a calling function here. Okay, so you have a function which is written on top, which you have written on the top by the name sub. So you're calling it like this. Okay, so you name the function and you put a circular bracket. Okay, that's how you can call a function in GoLang. Okay, so you have a sub function here, so that's why I put the function name at the front, and you do have two arguments here. Okay, so that is the very reason in the circular bracket I have put two arguments. Okay, you can put n number of arguments as you do in other programming languages, and you can separate them by using commas. Okay, so whatever your arguments you are passing, you call them as actual arguments as in other languages, and whatever arguments that's been called, you call them as a formal arguments. Okay, so we have two arguments here, 200 and 100. They are of integer nature, so we are calling it. So what happens, we'll see upon the called function here. So called function, you have a func keyword at the start, and following that you have that function name sub, which is possibly going to compute the difference of two numbers here that we are given it through as an argument. Okay, and we are passing them as a formal arguments here. So look at the formal arguments. There is a small but a significant difference with the syntax that you use here when compared to other languages. You are not trying to put the data type at the first and followed by the data name or the variable name. On contrary, you put the variable name at the first followed by the data type. Okay, this is completely contradictory to other languages like C or C++. For other languages you put int x comma int y, but here you put x white space followed by int. Okay, which denotes that x and y will take integer type values only. Okay, so inside that functions you have all these statements which are basic, difference computation that you try to do in all languages. Okay, so you have a diff variable that is equated and initiated to value of 0 just to clear that memory value of this diff variable. And the diff again now is going to take a difference value of x comma y. Okay, so this is generally you're trying to do, you're finding the subtraction value or the difference value of x and y, and finally you're just going to format and print the diff variable. Okay, let's see how it works. Before that, let's save it. Make sure you have done, I'll just clear the screen. Make sure you have done set the root variables and you have set the bin and the path variables before you start this program, as you always used to do in the yesterday programs. Okay, before programs. So once you run this, yes, it's giving you the output 100, that is the computed difference value. This is general function with arguments. We can also have a return type for this function, as you do have for other languages. So you can have a function returning some kind of or a single value to the main. Now here we'll try to return, for the same program we'll try to return the diff, that is a difference to the main, and we'll try to print that difference value in the main program. Okay, this is generally a stunt you try to pull it off with other programming languages. Let's see here, it's no way much difference here. Okay, so only thing you need to do is you have to put the difference or the return type here at the start of the called function. Okay, so you have this already. All that you need to do is include the int, which shows what value, type of value it returns to the main. Okay, and you need to put the famous return statement here followed by the variable name that you want to return. Okay, a small difference is obviously you don't have a terminator, and one more significant difference is you don't use a braces here. Okay, in other languages you use braces something like this, but here you don't use this. Okay, so this will return the diff to the main. Okay, so we need to catch that return statement to the main. Let's use some variable here. So d is going to have the returned variable diff. Okay, diff is to be passed on to the D here to the main. Okay, and finally one thing is left to do is we need to print it. So whenever we print it here in GoLang, you try to format and print it. Okay, use that preprocessor FMT with the dot product and with the dot operator, and you try to print the difference here. Okay, so small change with the return is you use to return type, use the return statement, and finally you catch it in a variable as you do for other languages, and you just print it with the standard output function. Okay, so this is done. Let's try to execute the same now with the return statement. Okay, so it's done. Okay, so that's it about using basic functions in GoLang. Feel free to comment, feel free to, if you are interested, like the video, subscribe if you are really interested. Let me know what you think about this video. Meet you in the next video. Until then, tata, bye bye, happy hearts, take care.